I'm going to call to order the October meeting of the Redevelopment Commission for Beech Grove. My name's Stephanie Hubbard, I'm the president, and this is
Joe Griffin, vice president.
Dawn Whalen.
Kathy Chappell.
Ron Moat.
all right. And roll call. We need to read the minutes.
Okay, we've got minutes for 3 different meetings. The first one is a special meeting on July 5th. John Morgan called the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Roll call was Jennifer Spitz, Eric Witham, John Morgan, Dawn Whalen, Stephanie Hubbard. First order of business was to vote on resolution number 4 stating the RDC had no intention of raising property taxes at this time. This is a resolution that we are required to complete yearly. John made a motion, Eric made a second, motion carried. Eric advised that there was interest from NRP Group to develop the rock pile. They had submitted a letter of intent. Stephanie made a motion to accept letter of intent. Dawn made a second, motion carried. 2 bills were brought forward to be paid, $390 to Walker and Associates and $640 to Regions for bond maintenance. John made a motion to pay, Eric made a second, and all agreed. Meeting adjourned at 7:09 p.m. Do we want to approve that or do all 3?
Let's approve. I need a motion to approve July 5th meeting as read.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Okay.
carried.
All right. Next one is July 19th. John Morgan called the meeting to order at 7 p.m. Roll call, Jennifer Spitz, Eric Witham, John Morgan, Dawn Whalen, Stephanie Hubbard. Dawn read the minutes from June 21st, 2012 into record. Eric made a motion to approve minutes as read. Stephanie made a second, all approved. Rock pile. Under old business, Eric advised that NRP Group is moving forward with plans to develop entire 7 acres into senior living cottage-style housing. They are working with state agencies to facilitate grants for cleanup of the ground. Stephanie asked about a community block grant. Eric advised there was one of the grants that was one of the grants they're looking into. Under new business, John addressed that there are 2 modems that were to be used for Digital City that are currently of no use to the city and would like to see the items surplus so that we could hopefully recoup some of the money. Stephanie made a motion to get the approximately 350 modems surplused and sold. Eric made a second, all approved. Additional items, bills to be paid. RDC manual claim in the amount of $288,743.75 to be paid. Eric made a motion to pay. Dawn made second. All approved. Crossroads Engineers, total of $6,290 for vacation of plats of rock pile, $105.04 to Reedy and Peters Consulting for maintenance of bonds, $10.37 to Office Depot for mailbox for RDC. Stephanie questioned payment to Peters Consulting as we are paying a bond maintenance fee to Regions Bank. John stated that the fee to Regions is a monthly fee, like with a checking account, and the fee to Peters Consulting is for managing the bond. Eric made a motion to pay. John seconded. All agreed. Public comments. Joe Griffin asked if Digital City would be turned off anytime soon. John and Jennifer both advised that the police and fire and city hall use it. They did clarify this with the mayor, who is also in attendance. The mayor indicated that the city is not paying anything for Digital City and hasn't in quite some time. Mayor Buckley announced there is a meeting with Crossroads Engineering regarding the Main Street project on August 15th at 7 p.m. at the Senior Citizen Center. Mayor Buckley also advised that either September 3rd or the 12th the project would get bid out. Wednesday, July 25th at 8 a.m. the wage hearing on the project would be downtown. Since it exceeds $250,000, it is required a wage hearing be held. Stephanie asked if the question she had about the $390 bond payment had been addressed. She wanted to make sure it wasn't being paid twice, as there is a blanket for the city regarding liability insurance, and she wants to make sure we aren't paying a bill for a policy that should have been canceled. Eric suggested that we think about the possibility of building standards for rehab refurbishment of buildings that are purchased. Stephanie suggested a zoning overlay for Main Emerson Avenue at the very least, something that says going forward, once the property changes hands, this is how things should look. Jennifer feels that will entice other business owners to come to Main Street if they see there is continuity on the standards. Joe Griffin brought up IRTIP and suggested we look into the info from that. He indicated that they identified Main Street and Emerson as critical spots in Beech Grove, and that Main Street is the only true Main Street in Indiana. Joe Ellen asked if anyone had a vision for Beech Grove, and it was stated that Mayor Buckley has one, as well as the comprehensive development plan for the city. Stephanie stated the biggest problem with Beech Grove right now is it is a transient city currently because there are so many renters. Joe Ellen asked the status of Exide. John advised that he talked to Kyle Hendricks regarding that property. It is still under EPA control right now, not completely cleaned, maybe 1 to 1.5 years before it could be available. Eric stated that he realizes it is sometimes felt that change needs to happen immediately with the new administration, that it takes continued effort and time to make changes. John stated that in regards to Main Street, how long has it been going on? In regards to the redevelopment since 2000 or 2008, and should we continue to wait for more public input, or do we spend money to adjust the plan? When do we pull the trigger and do something with Main Street? Eric made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Stephanie seconded. All approved. Meeting adjourned at 7:46 p.m.
Yeah, motion to approve is read.
I'd like to make an amendment to that. I didn't say, if I said Indiana, I meant Marion County. It's the last true Main Street in Marion County is what I meant, not Indiana.
You did say Marion County that night. Yes, you're correct.
Okay. You can change that. I can do
Yeah,
it right
motion to approve as amended.
I'll make it
Second.
second.
All in favor?
All right.
now.
Aye. Motion carries. Next.
Marion County, right?
It's good to rehear all this stuff. It makes me think about a lot of stuff.
Okay. Last and final. September 20th, 2012. Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission minutes, September 20th, 2012. Stephanie Hubbard called the meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. Roll call. Ron Moat, Kathy Chappell, Dawn Whalen, Stephanie Hubbard, Joe Griffin, Jennifer Spitz. Stephanie announced that we would accept the resignation of Rick Skirvin. Dawn read Rick's resignation letter into record. Joe made a motion to accept the resignation of Rick Skirvin. Dawn made a second. Motion carried. Stephanie then announced we needed to elect officers. Dawn made a motion that Stephanie Hubbard be elected president. Joe made a second. Motion carried. Ron Moat made a motion that Joe Griffin be elected vice president. Stephanie made a second. Motion carried. Old business. Dawn read August 24th, 2012 minutes into record. Joe made a motion to accept minutes as read. Ron made a motion, second. Motion carried. Rock pile. Mary Hotta was in attendance and gave background on NRP and what they have proposed for development of the rock pile. She described what the senior community would be like. She stated that they would be submitting to IHCDA in November 2012 for tax credits, and we'll find out in February 2013 if funded. Joe Griffin asked if Brownfields has been supportive. Mary said they have been very cooperative and supportive by sending sample letters of how the letters need to be written so that they can work together to get the Brownfields grant to be extended. Kathy asked about dividing the homes from the railroad. It was stated that the street guard staying will be the divider. It was asked if there was a concern with the noise level, and Mary indicated that it had been looked at and noise wouldn't be an issue with the development. Stephanie then explained the conditions of donations that the commission had discussed in August and were put into the donation agreement. She explained that if NRP weren't able to meet even one of the conditions, the property would then be returned to the RDC. John Morgan asked about the donation of the property based on appraised value, if that would count as match for the Brownfield grant. Stephanie advised that Kyle Hendricks with IDEM indicated that we would not be able to do that. Joe Griffin asked Mary if they didn't get the tax credits in February, if they would back out. Mary stated they would not. They asked for 30 months to get the project off the ground because if it wasn't funded in February of 2013, they would try again in November of 2013 for February 2014 funding. Tim Showalter asked if NRP is funded in February 2013, if they would wait 30 months to develop. Mary stated that if they are funded in February, groundbreaking would be in November of 2013 and the project should be complete in 12 months. Joe Griffin asked if it would take 12 months from groundbreaking to getting people in there. Mary stated that they are production builders, so normally about 6 months, but they say 12 just in case there are snags in the process. She stated they do hire locally as they aren't builders. Joe asked if they would pay prevailing wage, and Mary stated they would, as she believes the home funds would require that. Joe asked if there was a PowerPoint presentation that could be put on the city website in regards to the proposed project. Mary said there was, and she will get that to the commission. Donation agreement needs some information filled in. Stephanie asked for a motion that the president of the commission fill in the donation agreement and sign it. Dawn made a motion, Ron made a second, motion carried. Stephanie requested motion that extension of grant from Indiana Brownfields program. Dawn made a motion that Stephanie sign extension letter. Ron made a second, motion carried. New business. Dr. Jan Cowan from IUPUI presented with his associates an idea for partnership with the city of Beech Grove, the RDC, and IUPUI. IUPUI would like to be a good neighbor and work with the city of Beech Grove. They can help develop projects, seek out funding for various projects for the city. Teresa Bennett with IUPUI Solutions Center and Office of Community Engagement stated that they can help with internships and research. Dr. Cowan talked about what they do in communities is repurposing items in the area. An example, shipping containers that have been repurposed to housing, offices, etc. They believe that passenger trains can be repurposed into office, retail, galleries, and shops. They also recycle materials that would normally be thrown away, including materials that are acquired by demolishing buildings. IUPUI would like to get with people at Amtrak, CSX to see how we can all work together to repurpose items and make positive changes to the city. Joe Griffin stated that as an RDC, we are bound by the Redevelopment Comprehensive Plan, and CSX hasn't been a willing participant and the community needs to get involved. Stephanie stated the RDC was bound by a Redevelopment Comprehensive Plan in regards to where the money is spent, but not ideas. Jennifer thinks recycling is a refreshing idea and thinks it's good to know that items acquired by demolishing buildings aren't going to waste. Additional items. Bills. Bill for $350 for Eric Witham for a laptop. Bill for $143.33 to Peters Consulting for bond management. Motion to approve payment was made by Dawn. Kathy made second. Motion carried. Bill from Crossroad Engineers for $3,000. Stephanie stated that the bill wouldn't be paid until itemized statement has been provided. Public comments. Mayor Buckley stated that in the next 7 to 14 days, the water main relocation along Main Street would be starting. It's totally funded by Citizens Energy Group, and the Hunt Construction Group will be doing the work. Calumet Paving will be doing the alleys within approximately the next month. Dawn made motion to adjourn the meeting. Joe seconded, and motion was approved. Meeting adjourned at 8:41 p.m.
Motion to approve is read.
Make motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Awesome minutes.
Probably too much.
No, it's good. It's good to re-examine some of that stuff, I think. So I'm glad to hear it in detail. Got quite a few things to move through this evening. We got any comments out there about our minutes? No? Okay. Our old business is still the rock pile, and we have a few more things to sign this evening, hopefully, if they are passed. They are moving through a process to obtain some things from the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority, which is a big packet of information that's required for them to get their housing credits so that they can build this project. And we want to make sure all our ducks in a row so they can make sure all their ducks are in a row so that they get the funding so they get to build this project. And all of these things that we're going to go through tonight have to do with that. The first one is going to be a certified resolution of the Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission for essentially exactly what we did on the donation agreement. Just essentially restates those things, those items. I'm going to read it into the record, but it restates that in a way that is dictated by the housing authority. So it's basically jumping through a hoop for them, but it reads as such. The foregoing resolutions were adopted by the Board of Directors, the Board of Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission, which is us. It's really the Redevelopment Commission. But the donor on this day, we're going to say, today is the 18th day of October 2012. Recitals. The donor has acquired approximately 7.8 acres of real property located in Beech Grove, Indiana, at the northeast corner of the intersection of Shaft Street and Churchman Avenue for the purposes described in the final OCRA Comprehensive Redevelopment Plan. The donor wishes to the site to Beech Grove Senior LLC recipient through and related intermediary NRP properties for the purpose of developing approximately 80 senior-style cottage rental units. A real estate donation agreement has been executed to memorialize the terms of this donation. The donor has actively worked with the City of Beech Grove in the adoption of the plan, which designates a subject area known as the Beech Grove Integrated Redevelopment Area. The land to be donated as part of this designated subject area and the proposed development meets the objectives and goals stated in the plan. The donor acknowledges that an application for rental housing tax credits from the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority is being made to finance the development. Resolved that the board authorizes the donation of the land to the recipient through NRP Properties LLC to submit an application to IHCDA for rental housing tax credits for the Beech Grove Senior Project, consisting of new construction and adaptive reuse of up to 76 affordable housing units located in Beech Grove, Indiana. Pardon me. It is further resolved the donation is contingent upon the approval of the application of low-income housing tax credits to the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority. That would be the resolution. Any questions? Anybody have any questions? I'm gonna need a motion to pass this resolution as read.
I'll make a motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. One down.
20 to go.
This is another part of their packet. It's a voluntary acquisition form. It's just a form, that basically says, I'll go ahead and read it. Letterheads for NRP properties. Dear Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission, financial assistance through the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority is being sought for the proposed transaction that includes the purchase of real estate known as the intersection of Churchman Avenue and Shaft Street, Marion County, State of Indiana tax records. Federal funds used in this project require my informing you of the following. 1, as a private sector entity proposing acquisition of your property, we have no legal means to acquire your property except at a mutual agreement between the buyer and the seller. This is a voluntary, arm's-length transaction, and there is no threat of eminent domain. 2, we have estimated the fair market value of your property to be $270,000. This amount was established by check 1. And the check is on an appraisal of the property conducted by Vogt Sanctor Insights Appraisal Group. That's essentially the form there. Okay, in addition, since this is a voluntary sale, you will not be eligible for relocation assistance as a consequence of this transaction. Also, if any tenants have been displaced for the sale to occur, or if tenants currently rent or occupy the space on the property, please provide us with that information at this time so we can plan accordingly, which there are none, so that's useless. Okay. And all it says is basically that we received this letter, and it goes into their packet saying that they've informed us of all this information. I need a motion to sign it, please.
I'll make a motion for you to sign it.
Awesome. And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Another little formality is we have to sign this land assignment. It's another part of their packet. You gotta love governments and their forms. Land assignment. NRP Properties LLC has entered into a real estate donation agreement to accept unimproved real estate effective September 20th, 2012 with Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission for a parcel of land being approximately 7.8 acres and more particularly identified as the northeast corner of the intersection of Shaft Street and Churchman Avenue. NRP Properties LLC is an affiliate of NRP Holdings LLC. Holdings shall serve as the co-developer for an affordable housing development known as Beech Grove Senior LLC, the entity to serve as applicant to the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority. Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission agrees to convey the property to Beech Grove Senior LLC to a to-be-formed Indiana Limited Liability Company and the proposed owner upon the condition of IHCDA issuing a tax credit reservation for Beech Grove Senior and upon formation of this entity. Signed this 18th day. I swear I came in with one. 18th day of October 2012. I need a motion to sign the land assignment.
I'll make a motion.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think this is the last form. Are you excited?
Mhm.
this one would be a letter from us to the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority. And this is about site control, which is essentially all the forms that we just signed are about site control, who controls the site. And it basically says, it's to the Indiana Housing Community Development Authority, saying, I'm writing this letter on behalf of the Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission to assure the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority that we are committed to donating the 7.8 acres of land to the Beech Grove Senior Development. As noted in the real estate donation agreement, the recipient, NRP Properties LLC, and its assigns, Beech Grove Senior LLC, upon formation will have 30 months to begin construction of the project and take title to the property. This timetable for acquisition should more than meet the deadlines established as part of your application cycle requirements. For the reasons described, the acquisition proposed herein should not create any undue risk to ICDA. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. Sincerely, Stephanie Hubbard, President, City of Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission. A motion to sign this.
I'll make a motion.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yay. And, okay. They sent us this, which I believe is in a PowerPoint. You guys all have copies. And it is just, they call it a narrative summary, and it is basically their development plan for the property. So hopefully that will be up on the website in the next week or so. So look for that. It's got everything you need to know about their plan right here. And they sent that to us this week, so good deal. Do we have any questions about the rock pile? Because we're going to move on.
I have a question, Stephanie. On all those papers that you just read that you guys are all going to sign, has City Legal reviewed those? Or do you guys just sign them? I'm just curious, I don't know.
If we have questions, I mean, if they seem complicated, like they're not in, most of that was in layman's terms. I mean, I understood it. I think all these guys understood it.
Mhm.
And if they don't, we all say, hey, I don't understand that. Let's call the city attorney. But all these things so far have been, there have been things like the donation agreement, all that went through a process to be reviewed by an
And you guys
attorney.
don't have a city attorney present at your meetings?
But, you know, if something comes up that we question, and we're going to look more into that, as we research the budget for next month, we have to determine what Craig Wiley can do and what we need to go outside for. And he's going to be helpful in determining that, you know, what he's going to say, hey, I'm good at this, or you need to go, you know, look somewhere else for this. And he's always said, hey, I know this part of the law, or hey, no, I need you guys to go look somewhere else.
Sure.
So, you know, because everybody thinks attorneys can do everything, but they really specialize in very specific things. So,
That's true, too.
when we move to do the resolutions regarding our housing and neighborhood development plans, we will have to reach outside for legal help.
Now, did you write your resolutions tonight?
No, that was actually written by the attorney for the NRP group, but they knew exactly what needed to be stated because that's really a resolution from us for their packet to submit to that housing authority. So they knew exactly, that guy does that every day for a living, so I felt confident. And it just restates, I would have been uncomfortable with it had it been something different, but it restates exactly what's in our donation agreement. We just turned it into a resolution.
Sure.
Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Any
Thank
more?
you. No.
Okay. More exciting stuff. This is in our minutes, I believe, from this meeting, and I can't tell you exactly which meeting, but we approved, and we just want to restate that we approved to pay an amount not to exceed $111,000 for the paving of the alleys behind Main Street. And that is going to come up, they have until November 8th, I was told by our clerk treasurer, to complete that project, and they need to be paid within 30 days. So I would like us to basically make a motion to approve a payment to the paving company for an amount not to exceed $111,000. So if that bill comes in to the clerk treasurer, we've basically given our approval to pay it, so he doesn't get in trouble for not paying the bill on time if it needs paid before our next meeting. And he asked me to make sure that we all knew that that bill was coming and that our approval would be needed to pay it. We've already, I believe, approved a budget for that project. I wasn't at that meeting, you know more about this, but we basically said we agreed to an amount to pave the alleys not to exceed $111,000.
So, I don't see what we need to do tonight if you guys already said previously that you're gonna do it, not to exceed that. I don't see what we need.
I think Dan was just looking for us to make sure that we approve the payment, so we,
Instead of waiting for the bill to come in and we approve it at our meeting.
We can either approve
after
it-
the due date.
we can either approve to pay it now if it does not exceed $111,000, or when it comes, we can hold a special meeting. And that's however you guys want to do it. But I'm guessing it needs to be approved for payment before our next meeting in November. I'm all up for a special meeting. I love special meetings.
So what you're asking out of us, right now, if I'm hearing it correctly,
I would like to wait. I would like to have a special meeting and see the bill
and go from there.
and go from there.
Just watch P's and Q's and make sure it doesn't go.
Yes. And we'll have a question here in a little while regarding that, so keep your ears open. So we're all in agreement, special meeting when the bill comes? Okay.
Got any motion?
Well, we won't know, we don't have to make a motion for that because you just have to have 2 members in agreement to call the meeting in 48 hours notice. So we don't need a motion yet, but I just want to discuss it now in front of everybody so that people know that there's probably a special meeting coming up to approve that bill. And anything else that comes along? I'm gonna add something to this agenda real quick, because this was sitting on our desk, and I would like everybody to know about it. You guys all got copies when we got up here. The mayor has left us a little surprise up here. It's a statement from him, a letter from him regarding some of the work being done on Main Street, and I'll just read it. October 17, 2012. Dear friends, I want to provide you with a brief update regarding work on Main Street that will soon be underway to set the stage for the Main Street project we're all very excited about. Hunt Construction is rapidly moving into the business district, and the water main replacement program will soon cause an interruption to vehicle traffic on your block. When Hunt Construction is working on your block, the road will either be closed for a couple of weeks or the western half of the road will be closed and parking will not be allowed in the area of construction. At all times, sidewalks will be accessible so patrons can access your business. We are encouraging parking on side streets and behind your respective business if you do not have a parking lot. Please be aware that this is not the Main Street project that is taking place. This is the preliminary work prior to that project beginning. Within the next month or so, Crossroads Engineering and Great X Construction Company will open an office in the 700 block of Main Street so you can directly ask them questions or share your concerns about your business and the construction activity. I want to note there's also some homes affected. Especially right down here on 4th, there's a double and some other stuff, so. These are much needed, long overdue improvements within our business district, and we look forward to the project beginning. As always, you can contact me directly at 803-9051 or walk down to the office if you'd like to discuss this matter further. Respectfully submitted, Dennis B. Buckley, Mayor, City of Beech Grove, and that's what he has to say about that. Any questions?
What we do is we pass that out 2 blocks in advance.
Okay.
So they're down at 9th and Main. So the people here on Main Street between 8th and 6th got those letters on Wednesday.
Okay. Awesome.
Then as they move forward, we'll go another block.
Sounds good. Looks like it's going pretty well.
And I looked at a schedule on the website that's on the front of the website, and that's how I found out exactly when, like between 5th and 6th, I think it's December the 6th through the 18th or something like that. It takes it clear out to like February 13th before it gets clear to Emerson. We're pretty lengthy.
A lot of work to be done, so I'm certain that is true. Anybody else? Any more questions? Anything? Okay. We are going to move on to bills. Always exciting. The first bill is for Tim Showalter for taping our meeting. That would be our September 20th meeting. Pardon me. You guys have all seen this. So, can I get a motion to approve this bill?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You'll lose
I probably will. I'll buy you another one.
it. Lose my
If you
bid.
sign my name, that'd be awesome. Tim, let me ask you a question real quick.
Mhm.
Is that gonna be your fee every time?
Mhm.
Okay. Would you submit something to us?
Sure.
So we know, and then because that was kind of a surprise to us, and we don't mind, obviously.
Mhm.
We want the stuff taped. It's good for the public and good for public,
Right.
good for the record.
Do you want me to send
but-
that via email or?
That would be great. rdc@beechgrove.com.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Didn't the council used to pay you?
Mhm.
So the council didn't pay him out of this last one? I thought we had something set up for live broadcasting.
No, just, it does, but it makes sense that he get paid out of the RDC since he's.
Right, and
RDC.
it absolutely does. What I want that for is we're doing our budget,
Mhm.
so to make sure that it's included in our budget, and I like to have backup documents for our budget purposes. So, just to make sure we know what's going on.
Stephanie, can I ask a question?
Sure.
How much is that?
$200. I'm sorry, I
And
meant
is
to.
it, where is it televised at? Is it televised on the television and website?
Mhm.
Tim?
Yes,
Yes.
television and website.
Yeah.
So do we have the live feed going?
No.
What are we lacking to get that going?
Approval from the mayor.
Dun, dun, dun. Everybody signed that bill? Yes, okay, it's right back. The next one is gonna be a little less fun. I hate to say that. I've got a voucher, and this one is for United Consulting, consulting fees, alley project, line 17 of 12, $7,677.93. What I really need to know, I'd like to approve that for payment contingent on the fact that it's part of the $111,000 cap that we put on what we would spend on the alleys. If it's over and above that, we've never approved it, and I'm not real comfortable paying for something that we never even knew about. If it's part of that $111,000, I feel comfortable paying it, but I'd like to know before we approve that bill. Which hopefully I can find out tomorrow, so if it is, then we can go ahead and get it paid.
Well, I got a question. If it's out of that 111,000, wouldn't that wait for our special meeting?
But they sent the bill now, and they've only got so much time to pay it, otherwise there's penalties and fees and things like that, so. And it looks like that bill came $9/17, so they're running out of time. It's usually 30-day net, so.
Stephanie, I would not, as I told you before the meeting, I don't think that's part of, I think the 111,000 is the actual paving
Okay. And
without
I'm not sure,
consulting fees.
I guess I'm not sure why we're getting this bill if it's not part of that $111,000.
Well, because when they send them one bill,
Well, these are all, everything attached to this has been approved by the Board of Works. So, which really has nothing to do with us. I don't see anything separated out of here that isn't already approved. I mean, it's got the approval stamp from the Board of Works on it. So, I mean, if the Board of Works wants to pay it, I guess it's coming out of whatever budget they have to pay it. So, I'm really kind of confused about that one. And
Isn't
I'm
that an
even,
engineering company?
pardon?
Are they an engineering company?
This is United Consulting.
yes, they are the engineering company for the asphalt paving.
Maybe that's fees for them, look, for whatever they had to do for the alleys that you guys are,
And that's my assumption about it, but the mayor, like he stated, he didn't think it was part of that. So
I have.
if
no
it is
idea.
part of that, we could pay it. If it's not, then I don't understand why we have it in front of us.
See, it shouldn't have went in front of the board of works anyway if it's ours.
Yeah, and if it's ours, why does it have a
I
Board
don't
of
know
Works
anything
stamp?
about it.
I'm
This
just
is my
I'm just
first
totally
RDC
confused, and
meeting ever.
I gotta dig into this more tomorrow to find out what's going on. And this one, I'm even more confused about. It is a bill, it's the second thing on our voucher. It is a bill from Lewis and Capes, not sure. And that is an attorney firm. And it is for professional fees, and they've attached an itemized billing, but none of it has to do with the RDC. It is 3 items, all in regards to the Main Street Loan Program, which has nothing to do with the RDC. So I don't know if this was just an oversight, I'm not really sure. It looks like on a previous page, because it's kind of carried over, there might have been some redevelopment work by this company. I don't know why, because we never approved that. But
Did the board of works approve it?
I don't see any stamp from them. It's highlighted and it says RDC on it, but all 3 items are for the Main Street Loan Program. They all say Dilk foreclosure, Rainy Day Investments, which is owned by Diane Stone. So that really has nothing to do with the RDC. So I would,
Who gave those to you, Stephanie?
they were in our mailbox, so I'm not really sure who put them in there.
Somebody in the clerk's office?
Somebody in the clerk's office. But I don't feel comfortable paying these bills today. So, yeah, we don't need a motion not to pay them, right?
Well, we gotta have an agreement,
So,
just to be safe.
okay. Well, anybody else feel like we need to pay them today? No.
No way.
No. Okay. Well, that was really fun. Are there any questions out here? Any general questions? Questions about bills? Questions about anything you want to know about? we're gonna do comments from our members. Now, we'll start with Ron if he's got any comments. We'll work our way back this way.
Not at the present time.
Okay.
Yep.
Nothing? I'm the only one that ever wants to talk. I mentioned something this past month at the city council meeting. And that was that the state law for the redevelopment commission states that we can have a treasurer, which I think is a really bad word to use for the duties they would have assigned to them. They would not pay bills. That would still be the city's clerk treasurer. They would not. It would basically be a financial advisor. They would look at our budget when we hopefully approve one next month. They would make sure that our bills aren't exceeding that budget. They would look at our revenue projections. They would look at what we actually receive in revenue. They would get those statements from the clerk treasurer and make sure that we all know not only that we have them, but what they mean. Things like that. And I would really like it if, and state law says this person can be paid, but I really think it's something that somebody in the city would be willing to put their time in, just as an appointment. They would be a non-voting member of the RDC. They would be responsible to the RDC only. They wouldn't have any affiliation with the mayor or the clerk treasurer's office. They would basically be here for us to always know what's going, just to keep us abreast constantly of what our financial situation is. And that's a big part of this commission, being good stewards of the money that we have, because it's taxpayer money. And you can see that however you want, but in the end, it is our taxpayer dime. So somebody should be watching that all the time. So I'm hoping that someone out there would throw their name in the hat to be appointed, that we can nominate and maybe vote on here in the next month or two, to get somebody in here. Hopefully to help with this budget. That would be awesome. So if you guys know anybody, rdc@beechgrove.com, or you can call. I'm sure we have a phone number. Not that I know what it is. 803 something, I'm sure. But if you're interested, let us know, because I really need somebody to do that. And that's my comment. I don't really have it. My other comment is we're working very hard on the budget. The mayor's presented us with a draft. We're working through that. We've come up with a few little committees to work on specific things. And we've had some pretty good ideas about that. So just keep on moving. I think the best idea so far is trying to see if we can pay these bonds down. So, anybody else? Nobody? Joe?
Yeah, I got some.
All right, good.
Don't we pay Mr. Peters to do some of that stuff? Anyway, the financial stuff? That's part of his specialty that
The only thing we pay him for right now is that the RDC pays him for, is for the management fee on the bonds. So anything else would be an additional fee.
So he can advise us on those fees or what we're paying. And that'd be a big part of it.
Look into that, Joe.
All right. I guess we can go over exactly what we're doing with the rest of these projects that we so-called have, like the dump. Can we dump the dumps? Do we have to have the dump?
There's nothing that I know that can be done with it as far as development. There's no way for us to get rid of it, and I'm just not seeing a lot of options. And if somebody can come up with something and present a good idea, I'm definitely willing to listen to it.
Well, if you read the agreement that we took from it, if it couldn't be developed as an athletic field, then we can give it back to Indianapolis. that's the way it was written up and gone over. It's just a big dump, and that thing,
I agree. I would love to give it back to Indianapolis. I would really love to, but you can look into it.
you know.
I don't
it's
know
a-
about that agreement, but I believe you.
So, let's go over them then. CSX, what's happening with CSX, anything?
Not that I know of.
Main Street?
Like you had commented before, they're not real keen on getting back to you about, things like that, so.
Do you guys own CSX?
No, but it is in the TIF district, is that still correct? Yeah, they TIFed it, so
Sort of, yeah.
that's kind of the issue with that. And they'd rather just let it sit there, I think, so. We'd like to encourage them to, obviously, to do something, but. Any more? Any ideas? Just something else?
What's going on with St. Francis?
Mr. Mayor, anything? Any
Yes.
news?
We have another meeting October the 26th at St. Francis. And once that meeting's over, that meeting's at 10 o'clock in the morning. And once that meeting's over, then we will be going to Mishawaka, Indiana. That's the corporate office for Franciscan Alliance. And I would suspect at that time that they will finalize the deal to sell the hospital.
Finalize in regards to,
Sell the hospital.
do we have any idea to who or for what? Or is
Yes.
it still undisclosed?
Yes.
Okay. Big secret, I guess, about what's
No.
going on there. No?
Not really.
Well, they can't talk about it, so it's kind of a secret.
Mhm.
It's confidential, I guess. not-
But you have a vested interest because it's in a TIF district.
Right, and and I feel like we've kind of been excluded from whatever's going on, but I understand, I mean, there's confidentiality agreements and stuff in place, so, but I guess they haven't expected anything of us either, so, there's nothing really for us to do.
Do you guys attend that meeting, Stephanie?
Pardon?
Do you guys attend that meeting that he's
I
talking about?
don't believe any one of us was invited to attend that meeting, so, and this is the first I've heard about it.
So since it's in TIF district, how come none of us are involved? That'd be a big question there. Not only is that TIF district, but isn't it also an economic redevelopment district also?
I don't know.
I believe it
I
is.
believe it is.
Don't know.
I believe it is. So that would involve us even more, and then we are without an economic redevelopment committee right now too.
Yes, we are.
So, that would put even more emphasis on how does that exactly fall, since it is a TIF area inside an economic redevelopment area without an economic redevelopment committee. That would be some of the stuff going on there. And it would behoove us not to be part of that, I would think, somewhere along the line, or get something there.
And you might be right.
Okay, that's a good question, John.
But I look at it as economic revitalization.
Well, I'm not arguing that, but if it's in a TIF area, why wouldn't we be included? That's the whole thing, because we are the economic development driver. By law, we are the #1 course for the economic development. And especially since we do have something heavily involved with it overall.
I definitely think
What about that?
someone from the commission should have some involvement in whatever's taking place, and I think that's where I feel like, we're kind of, it's our responsibility, but somebody else is
We
in
greatly-
control of it.
I greatly appreciate the city moving along with it, but don't keep us in the dark either, especially when we're supposed to be in the forefront of the economic redevelopment, especially. And like's been said, that comprehensive redevelopment plan has been in place. You want to know the biggest difference between the Beech Grove Main Street comprehensive redevelopment and the Speedway redevelopment, comprehensive redevelopment plan? I got to vote on the Speedway redevelopment plan. I never have seen anything to do with Beech Grove. And I never really got a word in, never seen an official thing, but yet I was heavily involved with the Speedway one. And I don't even live in Speedway. You know, that's the big differences that's going on there, getting the public involved and get them going. I can understand that, yeah, you gotta be quiet at times, but to be left totally in the dark too, especially in an area that's heavily relying on us.
Well, I think, you know, in Speedway, they were involved in the comprehensive plan, which we can't go back and be involved now. That's, I mean, we
Well, I
just
understand
can't
that.
do it. Moving forward, we can, but that's still, I mean, is it in the TIF district? Yes, but it's still a privately owned, entity. So if they don't want to include us, they don't have to. Should we be included? Could we be a good asset to have? Yes. You know, but because they're privately owned and they've decided to go with all the confidentiality agreements with whoever their client is, you know, they don't have to involve us.
No, but if they want the economic benefits that this committee can
Right.
give them, they have to include us. Don't come out
That's
and
what
just throw it in
I'm
our
saying
lap.
is, my opinion of it right now is they don't want those benefits. Because they do know that we exist. I'm sure the mayor's told them it's in a TIF district and whatnot. So they know we're here, and what I'm saying is, as a private entity, they don't have to come to us. And if they don't want our help, we don't have to be included. So,
I think they're clear that they're in a TIF district.
yeah, I'm pretty sure their attorneys know that. With all the bond issue stuff they tried to go through before with the other, you know, ordeal,
And
you
they've
know.
had several meetings where the city has not even known about it, because it's privately owned.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Well,
if they don't want us, then, I mean, obviously, we make our appeal to them, we're here, I think we can do some things to help you, we'll do whatever we can to help you, but if they don't want us, they don't want us, you
I
know.
don't think it's to that point yet. I think that they're still sorting out what's gonna happen.
Okay.
And I think when that time comes, I think they'll probably come forward to you.
Well, let them know on the 26th, we're here, if we can help, we will. So, we want it to be a successful project.
Well, we want to be successful, and I understand all that stuff. But just as courtesies, even though we're not Indianapolis, they should have really included us as just as a courtesy. Because everybody's fighting to be in a TIF now. Look, they want a TIF all in Indianapolis right now.
Yeah, they
So,
do.
but I mean, just as a courtesy, it would have been nice.
Alrighty. Anything else?
No, that should be good for now.
Okay. I need a motion to adjourn, unless you got any more comments out here. Okay. Motion to adjourn. Anybody?
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right. And a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yay. All right, I'm gonna sign